19 is in the press room. Let's hear from him now after his last game with the Blackhawks.
Whew. How are we doing, guys?
I know it's all still very fresh, but just what were the emotions right at the moment?
I mean, I'm blown away. Yeah, I mean, I really felt that, just almost unworthy of a moment like that. And, you know, I was just telling Sharpie in the hallway, I hope that guys like him and Dunks and Seed and Kaner and go down the list, if they were lucky enough to watch the game tonight, that they could feel that love from the fans. And, you know, I think it's just a great example. I told the guys in the room after the game that just goes to show, you know, obviously it's more than a game out there when you're able to be part of some special years where you win Stanley Cups and provide a lot of special feelings for the fans. But obviously it's a two-way street. You know, we gave our heart and soul and poured everything we had into this team, this organization, this game for a lot of years, and to reap the rewards like that, you can't draw it up any better. So I just hope that those guys I've shared a locker room with for a lot of years felt that as well, and were able to share that with me tonight. And you know, I guess in my mind it's hard. It's hard to accept that sometimes life changes, but at the same time, it's exciting. I'm really excited to see where this team goes in the future, and it'll be fun to watch. I mean, I'll always be a Blackhawk for the rest of my life, and yeah, I mean, I think you grow up, you know, dreaming of being an NHL hockey player, and you idolize your heroes, and you live for those big moments. And like I said, when things like that happen, you realize it's more than a game, and it makes it all worthwhile. So it's pretty special.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you haven't made a decision on your playing future yet, right?
I have not.
Have the Blackhawks officially? What is it like to have the Blackhawks then tell you, like, we're not offering you a contract for next season, before you had a chance to make that call yourself?
Yeah, I think in my heart, before I had the conversation with Kyle, I knew that for myself personally, whatever happens this summer, it's time. And you know, when Kyle called me into the room and we're on the road last week, and came out with it right away, it caught me by surprise, because I didn't know what he wanted to talk about. But once I kind of took a deep breath and let it sink in, you know, I realized it's just what it is. And there's absolutely no hard feelings. I have nothing but love and gratitude for the Blackhawks and Rocky Wirtz and the Blackhawks family. Everyone over the years has been a part of that. Like I said, you can't ask for more than that. And you know, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a business where you want to win games, and you want to go out there and entertain the fans and you know, chase Stanley Cups. And I think it's exciting for me to, at the same time, not know what's really around the corner for me personally, but at the same time, like I said, it's a new start for the Blackhawks. And kind of as I mentioned a second ago, I think for me, that night tonight kind of closes the chapter for not only myself, but guys like Kaner who weren't able to be here to enjoy that and feel that appreciation, that love from the fans. And you know, going down the list, Dunk, Siebes, Sharpie, Crow, Sauter, Host, Hammer. I can mention so many names, guys that were, you know, unsung heroes in a lot of ways, that were part of those special groups that won championships, and hope they all can feel that appreciation as well. So I think, like I said, it's that end of those times, and you know, new beginnings coming around the corner. So it'll be exciting to see.
What was it like to take the final lap around? Are you glad your teammates kind of pushed you out there to make you do it?
Yeah, it's hard. I guess in my mind, it's always it's a weird thing. It's almost hard to accept that love and that praise. So I try my best to just soak it in and You know, the guys were telling me I should do one more lap. I'm like, that was one too many already right there. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was overwhelming. I didn't expect that and really didn't know what to expect tonight. But just tried to focus on the game, just as I always do, and go out there and create some offense and try to win the game for us. And unfortunately, we fell a little bit short, but still a pretty special moment for all of us.
How badly did you want that one in overtime?
I was hoping you would ask me about that. It was all. I mean, it was still perfect. It's the way it went. Would have been nice to see that one go in and finish my last game in that fashion, but I'm not looking back now. I got no regrets. It was perfect. So.
Remind you of Kane's from the Vegas one that his was in overtime. The buzzer beater that got taken back.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should have taken a slap shot from the blue line or something. I might have had a better chance, but yeah, oh well.
In the moments since you had that conversation with the GM and you realized you didn't want to be back here, if you can't play again, if you decide you can't play, if your body's not going to take it again, what's next on the horizon for you? What options do you have?
I have no idea. A lot of thoughts pop in your head. I think, hockey's given me so much. And I think it's such a beautiful way to just kind of experience life, to learn about yourself and learn about what it feels like to be part of a team and overcome challenges and all that stuff that, I look back at these last couple of years, I'd say were probably the most challenging for myself personally, but I would say I learned more about myself probably more in these last couple of years than I have my whole career. So, I think I'll always be involved in the game in one way or another. Whether I'm involved in the Blackhawks in the future, I have no clue. But at the same time, if I'm not playing hockey this time next year, I think it's exciting to think of all the parts of life that you've put on the back burner. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, and there's a lot of things that you have to sacrifice over the years to be able to reap the benefits of having success at this level. So it'll be nice to spend time with family and friends too, and just be able to put other people first once in a while. That's just a small thing, but it's true. I think everyone, when you're playing hockey, everyone's attention is on you, and you're putting yourself first, and you have to be selfish in a lot of ways, and it'll be nice to just let your guard down and just see where life takes you a little bit.
It's down the road, but just knowing yourself, do you think your personality is more suited to the bench or the front office?
I have no idea. Again, I love the game of hockey. We'll see. I think it's impossible to answer that question. But I hope sometime in the future, when the time is right, to give back to the game in the best way I know how to, and I think that's something that is sometimes lost and sometimes difficult, especially with the way that the game has changed. And just the overhaul of kind of older players getting pushed out of the league and young guys coming in. And sometimes it's difficult to kind of keep that culture and keep the good things that you learned from the older players when you were a young player. And I think handing that down in some way, shape, or form, whether I'm playing or not, I think is a hugely important thing. And so we'll see.
Jonathan, congratulations on a great career here. It was remarkable, and I think I can speak on everyone's behalf. Thanks for all your cooperation and professionalism here.
Thank you.
Since you had the conversation with Kyle, have you reached out to Patrick? And I'm wondering what his reaction was to it.
Yeah, Kane and I we've just texted so far. Well, when the time is right, we'll have a good conversation. Maybe meet up this summer. But yeah, for now he's got a job to do. He's got a new challenge in front of him with a new team, and I think early on in our career there was always some healthy competition, maybe sometimes not so healthy, but I think we're both at that point in our life where we're happy for each other's success, and I wish him all the best. And I don't want to sit here and admit that I'm going to be a Rangers fan, but I'll always be a Patrick Kane fan and hope to see him do well in the postseason this year. And he's one of those guys that, day in, day out, he's a competitor and just a true professional. And I like any chance I get to mention how much of an impact he's had on the game, that I don't know if he gets quite the credit he deserves for and how he's influenced the young players in the game nowadays. And so I think that, I mean, above how special of a player he is and how great of a teammate it says so much about what he's accomplished in this game. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him have more success and do what he does best down the stretch here.
John, what did you learn about yourself? You said you learned a lot about yourself. And how do you hope the city of Chicago remembers you?
Again, that's a tough question, but I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just, I think just learning to relax into the things that you can't control and realizing sometimes life happens and things change and different things come up and you just got to roll with the punches. And I think that deep down, that's almost more what it's about than anything than winning Stanley Cups or scoring goals and doing that sort of thing. I think is just learning how to just deal with life a little bit more gracefully, a little bit more smoothly and relax into it. And yeah, there's probably a lot of other things I can't quite think about now. But
John, what do you want your legacy, though, to be from being a Chicago Blackhawk?
I mean, I guess most players, or at least myself, I should say, I'm lying if I say it doesn't matter, but at the same time, it's not something that you can really worry about. And I think, what I love about hockey is it's such a team game, and sometimes you feel like you're going out on a limb and taking a chance to sacrifice a little bit of yourself for your teammates, because your first, selfish instinct is you want to be noticed, you want to be recognized for those sacrifices. And I think ultimately over the years, I've had so many great teammates around me and great leaders that have been able to kind of keep me in line and remind me of what matters. And hopefully it's being a guy that's team first and going out there and doing whatever it takes to win games. And also, I guess I'm known for being pretty emotional and get heated on the bench over the years. I know I probably wasn't the easiest teammate to play with for my line mates in some scenarios, but I hope I'm remembered as that guy that's going out there trying to win games and help his team and make the guys around him better. So again, I can mention a lot of names, guys that I learned that from and try to emulate and grow alongside as well.
Can you come up with one game, one goal, one moment that stands out above everything?
I don't know if there's a moment on the ice as much. I think there's just so many, really. And I think that just shows how spoiled we were over the years. And I will say that when I get asked that question, my answer tends to be the things that stand out are, I think, just when people come up to me off the ice, could be anywhere in public, and you're almost embarrassed when people are thanking you for the moments that you created and the moments that people in Chicago will remember. And when that happens, you're kind of embarrassed at first, but then it's a reminder too that you're, as I said a minute ago, it's more than a game. When I was younger and throughout my career, you keep finding that inspiration and go out there and do your best, and you hope you inspire someone else to do the same and find their best within themselves too. So I think when you hear that, there's no better compliment really, and I just hope the fans know that that feeling's been reciprocated in more ways than you can imagine. So definitely thankful for that.
Tell the room tonight one last time as the captain before you leave?
I think, if I remember correctly, something along the lines of, I just hope that moment for them showed that the sacrifices for your team are all worth it, and to go out there and be part of a team that not only wins the Stanley Cup, just wins one playoff game. I mean, you get that feeling that you can win 15 more. I mean, it's a high like none other, and it's a reminder, like I said, that it's all worth the sacrifice and the things in life that you're kind of storing away a little bit, and when you experience that with your teammates, there's nothing better.
When you have a finish to your Hawks career like this, does it have you maybe leaning toward retirement a little bit, and if not, are you giving yourself a timeline for making that decision?
I mean, first of all, there's no timeline right now, but there's no doubt a moment like that, it's hard to top, and
Had some audio issues there at the tail end. We'll get back to that momentarily. Biggest thing that strikes me watching this is he seems at peace. And I didn't necessarily think we were going to see that tonight, especially with what I saw over the last couple of weeks after missing 2.5 months of action. He has no regrets. He seems very grateful that he got this night. We've been reestablished audio. Let's go back to tapes.
I mean, first of all, there's no timeline right now, but there's no doubt a moment like that, it's hard to top, and yeah, I think it's something I'll just let myself sink into with my family, and you know, the thought of playing for another team right now is so far in the back of my mind right now, especially after that moment. You know, I always thought I'd retire a Blackhawk, and part of me still believes in that, so we'll see.
You carried the burden of being the captain here for so long and so well. What does it mean to you to have been the captain the longest of anyone in the franchise's history?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's, if I look back over the last 15, 16 years, it's all a blur. It's gone by so fast, and you're always kind of dealing with the next challenge. And you know, I think every year, if someone would ask me what it means to be a captain or a leader, I feel like my definition of that always changed and kind of evolved, and you're always learning something new. You're always in a new position, and in a new situation, and ultimately, I think it's you know, trying to do all the little things that you can to help the team, and hopefully lead by example every step of the way.
Is there anything you're going to miss that maybe we don't see every day? Just something that...
What's that, sorry?
Is there anything you're going to miss that maybe we don't see every day? That, just, you know, you look forward to coming to a certain part of the day, or certain people that you saw, or just you know, here at the organization?
Again, it's hard to single out one thing or another. I think you'll miss it all. You know, even it was great to see Gapper get recognized the way he did, or the way he was tonight, and I really meant what I said. I think those guys that are behind the scenes, I consider them family. They've been dealing with me in ways that I don't want to talk about for too many years, and just taking care of the boys and doing whatever it takes, and not really asking for anything in return. And so I think that family atmosphere with the trainers and being part of a team, a bunch of guys that you really care about. I mean, the guys that I talk to that have been part of these teams that are retired now and away from the game, I think that's one of the biggest things they miss too, is just coming to the rink and being part of that team and that group. So that's something that you can't really replace.
If you had the opportunity to talk to the version of yourself that first walked into the locker room in 2007, what would you tell yourself?
You know, it's hard. I think everything happens the way it's supposed to, so it's hard to look back and really want to change anything. But if there was one thing, it's just always to try and appreciate every moment and not push away the tough ones, and just you know, just be present with it all. I think it's kind of a tough thing to handle, especially when you're going on a playoff run. If I think back to some of those playoff runs, there's not really a time to stop and smell the roses ever. You win one game, it's, you know, just getting ready for the next one and just kind of shutting everything out and focusing on your job. So it's it's a tough thing to do, and I think right now I'm in a position where I get to look back and enjoy that. So it's just the way it is.
Are you a different person than that guy?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, for sure. You grow as a person, every year, everything you go through, and I think that's what's so great about hockey. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
A lot of smiles from the captain, Jonathan Toews, the player formerly known as Captain Serious. Really seems at peace with how this has played out. No